What's up? My name is Robert LaFrance. I want to talk about how we show up today with the level of care that we're bringing to ourself, our business, our brand, and our community, because that's the message that I've been getting from a lot of directions today. Gary Vee's content was talking about caring and how important it is for your community. I just had coffee with my massage therapist, and she was saying what we allow into our lives is what we promote. And so I think reflecting on some care and how we take care of ourselves is a multifaceted question and something that we should focus on, because if you are on social media or if you are a parent, you have children looking up to you every single day as a role model and following your footsteps, wanting to achieve the level of success that you might be promoting or living or sharing online. How is it that you're caring about yourself? And how is it that you're caring about your community? When I got out of the Navy, I was so disgruntled, and I kind of had like I can do it on my own attitude. I don't, okay, if they don't want to work with me or if I don't want to work with them, that's fine. That's replaceable. And there's some truth to that. But along the same lines came like self growth and evolution and hyper responsibility and accountability for myself in order for me to reach the level of success. Success to me meaning not just my business and bank account, but my role as a father to my daughter and being a present father as much as possible and spending that quality time. I gotta display the characteristics and care about the message and the brand that I'm sharing out there. And so today I want you to take some inventory. It's a beautiful day. Take some inventory outside, whether it's with your journal or with your mentor or with your customers or audience, and ask them, maybe get some honest feedback with yourself and with them, and try to level up the amount of care that you might be sharing with them. For me, I've given the keys to the kingdom for real estate investments and purchases because of how I felt real estate agents hold those keys and that wisdom and knowledge. And if military service members are relocating every few years and they want to use the VA home loan, and they know that if they move every 3 to 5 years and over a few tours, they're going to have a short little rental portfolio that could be paid off in the next 20 years and have that cash flow, well, then you should know how to do it correctly so you can set yourself up for the long term. And that information shouldn't be contained. That information shouldn't be withheld from people. And so that's why I made the massive returns checklist, the MRC, so you could go through that process and hold new agents that you don't know accountable to your process, learn some things along your process, and be able to have a conversation with sellers and or agents and leverage your position as a buyer and or seller, knowing every step of that 9-step process and what goes into that. So from finding, negotiating, having a conversation, making sure that you get the best deal for your lenders and your investment, securing the cash and the real estate, making sure it's not over leveraged, while also allowing the seller to move on to their next chapter of life, which when the listing agent sees how you work and how you have those conversations and coming from a place of integrity and caring, they're going to start to bring you more deals because they know how you operate. And that's what everybody's honestly looking for from my experience is, in these networking meetings and these lunches that we're always hosting, it's, oh, let's close some deals. Let's close some deals. Let's do a podcast together. But after a period of time, you can see what gets filtered and then what falls to the side. And the people who are actually making the appointments and booking the appointments and closing the deals or having the phone calls with the agents are the ones that are bringing value to the marketplace and lifting up and raising the standards in the marketplace, whether we're talking about real estate or your t-shirt company and entrepreneurship. And so from what I've noticed, and then what people who have been proven successful share online when it comes to branding and marketing, is to stay romantic with your customers, invest in the long term, because nobody likes to be sold to, but everybody likes to be cared about. And even if we don't want to be cared about, maybe if we have enough self-love and independence and we don't need love from other people, we definitely notice when people care and when people don't care. And when we're talking about being successful in our family, in our health, in our wealth, we need to care about all those things. We need to make sure that we hit the gym and we're eating right, so our biochemistry is correct, so we have the patience and compassion and the emotional intelligence within to have the conversations with our children and our loved ones. We need to make sure that we are mindful and reduce our stress and anxiety, so when we're making that change from scarcity to abundance, or you know, have a lot of listings or deals on the table and you're trying to negotiate them, and we might have too much caffeine in our blood, like you're going to be able to take that step back and be in that present moment and share what you need to share. Sharing is caring in most cases. And so for me, in the team building realm and sharing information for an impact, helping helping veterans separate from the military and mentor them for purpose, camaraderie, and stability as their brains are finishing developing. Our brains are still developing from the age of 12 to 25, and 81% of the military service is from 17 to 25 or 18 to 25. And so we go through this indoctrination and this forging of our mindset and our character, and then some of us decide to get out and not make it a career because of the nature of the beast, or we feel like, for me, I couldn't handle the nature of the beast of the military infrastructure anymore. I felt like I could be more successful on my own. I felt like I could be happier on my own. I could feel like I could make more money and control and be more involved with my family. So I decided to get out after 7 years. And so I remember how I felt. I remember what it was like to go through my divorce. I remember what it was like to go through becoming a new entrepreneur and try to be there for my family. And turns out that these different ventures weren't as flexible as I wanted them to be in order for me to be a present parent. So being a real estate agent, you show properties on nights and weekends. As a buyer, I just negotiate and find deals online, and then I show up to the closing table and inspections if I want to. I don't have to make a living trying to maintain relationships with new buyers and in the sellers that I had, helped them buy that property 5, 7 years ago. But while we're on that topic, when you're coming from a place of caring and consistency, well, then those relationships, those genuine relationships and authenticity maintain the test of time. And then it's a no-brainer. And it's not like, oh, I need to check with my CRM and follow up with people and have fake phone calls and fake lunches. Because for me, I've had those lunches and phone calls where people call me up out of nowhere. I've done them too. Spam text messages. But when someone's looking at their watch every few seconds, waiting to go to the next appointment, or one of those environments where you can just witness that that person's not present with you and it's not a genuine relationship, well, then that's not something to be excited about and follow up again. I've I've been straight up with people before, like, hey man, what's up? What do you want? I haven't talked to you in years, and now you're asking me if I still have my real estate license, for example. Like, clearly we don't have that great of a relationship. Clearly you're not really following me on social media. Clearly you're just doing the activity that you think are key performing indicators to help you close more deals versus building rapport and actually a relationship where we can do something outside of business together. And my experience going through my growth of becoming an entrepreneur is that it is way more fun going on business trips when you're able to hang out together and it's not just talking about sale, 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 sale. Sales are cool. Making money is cool. It allows me to do stuff that I enjoy with the people that I care about. But what's so much more fun is like at the end of the team conference that day, being able to hang out with my boy and talk about music and write songs and hang out together because we actually care about each other's success. And it's not just, oh, you're on my team and, your success is my success. So I have to be this figure in this role in order to maintain the standard of living. Some people are successful with that, and that's just not the way that I roll. And if you are here, that's probably not the way that you roll either, because of how we've been sold to in our experiences of being a buyer or a customer or a client to some people. Some people go to the same barbershop, even if they're bald, for years because of the relationship and rapport and history they have with the barber. They're going to get four pieces of hair trimmed when they could just do it at home with the buzzer. We choose the things that we choose to participate in and purchase aren't always the things that we need, but the things that we want to do that make us feel good. And that, coming from that philosophy and being aware of that philosophy, really starts to accelerate that transition from the scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, because money's supposed to come and go. You're supposed to bring money in. You're supposed to bring it to the next spot, whether it's your charitable donations, paying your employees, or paying the debt collectors. But when we realize that I'm happy, or I'm pursuing my happiness, I'm creating the checklist of my life experience that I enjoy waking up to every single day, and I'm making an impact within my community. I'm helping people pursue their purpose after they get out. Speaking of my own goals and journey, it's just more fulfilling that way. And it's like I'm looking at this water display outside the pagoda in Norfolk, Virginia right now, and I've been reading this book called Your Brain is a River, or yeah, Your Brain is a River, not a rock. And when we're able to hold some type of posture and contentment in what we're doing and know that we're on the right path, and we know that the results are going to come down the road because we're operating from a place of abundance, integrity, caring, providing a reputable product or service out there where it's only a matter of time when you know that people are going to come back to you or they're hanging out with you on a regular basis. You're able to be that rock in the river and watch that flow of people or the storm go all around you while everybody else is in a hectic mindset, and you're calm and content and at peace. And so, how are you caring about your mindfulness? How are you caring about your stress levels and your biochemistry, your nutrition? How are you caring about your family? Are you able to be patient with your little girl as she goes through her emotional intelligence and regulation, and help her choose her words to communicate what she's actually trying to accomplish or let you in on? And that same thing could be applied to the workforce. Are you a leader or a supervisor trying to have a constructive conversation with your junior personnel about safety or their performance or their training? And are you coming from a place of consideration and care for them to grow? Or are you taking the stress of your entire workforce and about to let it out on this one individual? And how is that going to impact not just the work environment, but your relationship in working together? And it takes time. It's taken me a long time to get to this place where I'm witnessing my leaders, my elders, or my junior personnel, or people who are younger than me and who are my supervisors, go through this emotional body language and turmoil and trying to attempt to have a conversation with me. And it's like, hey, are you good? You all right, man? You drink too much monsters today or whatever? Whereas 10 years ago, I could have been defensive or taken it the wrong way because I couldn't see the bigger picture and how this person's going through their own processes and trying to share with me how what they're seeing from their lens and how we both could improve together. Having that conversation with your workforce when there's a misunderstanding, which is bound to happen because we're all human and life comes up and we all have our own priorities, and we're going to go do what our priorities are no matter what we say our goals are or what our boss is telling us or what we're telling our family. Whether you're addicted to drugs and alcohol and you're choosing drugs and alcohol over bringing bread on the table, that's more important. You care about that more than being present with your family and helping them grow and evolve and watching them grow and evolve, as well as if you care about health and wellness and nutrition and personal development and communication and sales, so you can better serve your audience and your customers and clientele for when that time is ready, because we only know what we know. We don't know what we don't know. And just because you've done the work and you can read a flat sheet and get the narrative and the bigger picture of it, not everybody is like that. And that's why there are leaders, and that's why there are followers, and then there are people who are stagnant or just get out of the way. And then there's people who are smart enough to just invest in an opportunity and not worry about knowing everything because they see the return on investment and just putting money to the side and letting that nest egg grow. And so take some inventory about your care and consideration for yourself, your workforce, your team, your business or organization, and just your overall environment where you participate in on a regular basis, and see how that evolves and raises, because the rising tide lifts all ships. And if we're not contributing to that lift, and we're becoming the circle, that average of the 5 people that we allow in our circle, or we're becoming less than and participating in other people's circles, what effect can that have? And so if you're here in my paradigm, in the LaFrance paradigm, I'm all about consciousness. I'm all about raising the tide to lift all ships and sharing resources and strategies for an impact so you can make the best decisions that you know how to accomplish your goals. If you want to buy real estate, cool. If you don't want to buy real estate, cool. Hopefully you gain some wisdom and some nuggets from my content just to be a better person, because that'll never go away. Our community and our resources and our technology, there's always going to be a balance. There's always going to be an up and down. It doesn't matter who's in office. But what doesn't go away is our sense of compassion and being a human being towards each other and our neighbors, and the influence and the energy that we have on each other. And so everything could be going wrong in the government, but if we lock arms and care about our neighbors and love each other and show patience and consideration, and coming from a place of it takes a village to raise a child, we're all just big kids still figuring it out. So does that ever go away? I don't think so. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's always going to be raising a child. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to have a conversation, a solution-oriented conversation, to help people become better, whether they realize it or not, whether they want to or not. Having subtle cues, you know? And so that's what I wanted to share with you today. How are you showing up in every aspect of your life? Are you caring to the level that you want to be caring in? Could you care about somebody a little bit more today than you haven't? Could you give that someone a little bit of chance? Could you come at it from a different perspective? Every attempt is another display of caring. It might not just be like, hey, bro, you're messing up. You could do this better, which is important to hear sometimes. Maybe you could just say, oh man, I love water. Maybe someone's obviously irritable or dehydrated. They could drink some water. Maybe instead of saying, hey, how much water have you had today? Maybe you could just say, oh man, I was so thirsty. I'm so glad I drank that water. I needed that. And plant that little seed in their brain for it to grow into an idea. My name is Robert LaFrance. They say that courage is contagious and the rising tide lifts all ships. So help me help you help your friends. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss a beat. Drop what you learned in the comment section so the next person can learn what you did. And like and share this video. I love you so much. Peace.